There comes a time when each and every one of us has to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, is it in me? Do I have what it takes? But for these players, the time for questions is over. Today is the day when they have to walk out on stage and take what's yours.
With the lion's share of our $500,000 prize still remaining, our 4 competitors will be put to the ultimate test. Years and years of practice, thousands and thousands of hours condensed into a handful of moments. It's just a few matches. It's just one afternoon, right? Will Mohammed Light punctuate the conversation, or will one of our new champions rise and claim the title of greatest in the world? The conclusion of our 2024 CRL World Finals starts now! Juicy, Josh, let's go!
Day 2 was all about how you could finish your matches. 3 separate games were decided by under 100 HP worth of damage, but today you will be required to go for it all. To the right of me is Jackson Juicy J. Wall. My name is Joshua Sharon. Day 3 of the Clash Royale World Finals has finally arrived. The entire year has led up to this very point.
And this is the best World Finals meta that we have seen in a minute. The meta is so diverse. We have old school cycle as well as new gen beatdown. And it also seems that the players are just simply not as nervous as they normally are. And you know what that means, Josh? Peak Clash Royale gameplay.
Peak Clash Royale gameplay indeed. 8 players competing in a double elimination bracket, down to 4 after the first 2 days. Best of 3 matches using the duel format. If you use Hog Rider in game number 1, you cannot use it in games 2 or 3. And the last player standing is crowned our world champ.
Yeah, next up we have prize pool. It's a $500,000 grand prize. And as Andrew said, it's the lion's share today. Everyone here has at least $45,000 as we have 4 players remaining. And whoever is crowned our champion will be winning $200,000.
Woo-hoo-hoo! You gotta feel really good about $200,000 in 3 days of work. That's 200,000 3 days. Pretty impressive indeed. Let's take a look at the bracket to see how we got here. Round 1, we had a few upsets, but for the most part, it's kind of what we expected. Mohammed Light still in that upper bracket. Ryley, though, one of those big surprises. Was he going to be able to handle his nerves? So far, he has done that. And then in the lower bracket, we still have Sub chugging along, as well as Lucas. That's going to be a fun first match of the day, the Battle of the Brazilians. I feel like we get to say that every 3 matches or so.
Yeah, Battle of Brazil Part 3, Sub and Lucas. That is our first game that we are going to be playing today, match number 11. I mean, there's just so much that can happen here. I mean, I think most of us picked Lucas for the caster's predictions, but I mean, Sub, he's just surprised us time and time again with how consistent and with how, you know, I mean, he's gained the nickname Sub-Zero with how ice cold he is.
Yeah, let's take a look at the predictions. And championship predictions, 85% for Light. I think it was 81 into 85. Very little has changed for him. Lucas, 7%, Ryley, 6%, and Sub at 2%. I mean, it really does make sense. I mean, all four of these players are absolutely phenomenal, but Mohamed Light, it has just been impressive game after impressive game.
Yeah, and it really just goes to show how good he really is. The fact that, I mean, this should be 25%, 25, 25, 25. Instead, it's literally the community thinks that there's an 85% chance that Mo takes it all without a second thought. And, I mean, I can't but agree exactly with that.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the caster predictions. And this one, oh, okay, there we go. So Lucas, Mohamed Light, it really does make sense. How can you really vote against these two after the play that we've seen so far this weekend? Mo definitely makes sense, but Lucas and Sub, it really does feel like they're kind of neck and neck.
Yeah, I could have gone either way for Lucas and Sub just because I've been so impressed with Sub's gameplay. But there has been a little bit more mistakes on Sub's side than Lucas. It seems like Lucas is really in his element at this World Finals.
That's right. We are in day 3, but we need to see what happened in day 2 and how we got here. To the first ever Superfest and day 2 of your Clash Royale League World Finals 2024.
Will they rise to the occasion or fall to defeat?
Oh my word. The recovery, the guts. Pedro getting it done in 2, and he will stay alive at World Finals.
13 seconds remain.
NATO offensively plus the lock. Can he catch the miner? He does. Can he block this miner from getting 2 shots? No. The miner gets shots on the tower.
Mo gets it. Mo gets it. 406, 481. The Pharaoh stays on top.
But Ryley has the lightning, and Sub does not have a big spell. P.E.K.K.A.'s walking towards tower as well. Lightning does drop, the cage gets taken out, the rage drops, and Ryley wins it! Ryley takes the best of 3!
Snowball in, RG gets nothing. Fireball down, poison ticking. Lucas needs a log. 2, 1, and Lucas takes it! 11:07 to 10:10, and his World Championship hopes continue.
Fire Spirit, second set of Peggy's in. There's no way to stop it.
This is gonna be it. And Sub takes the win.
Our former world champion has been eliminated. Our first world champion after a tough day 1. The ultimate underdog. It was his consistency that got him a golden ticket, but his calm that propelled him to day 3 and shocked all of us. He's called the Brazilian Sub-Zero for a reason. It's Sub! Maybe a bit of a question mark coming into 2024 after what you could call a down 2023. But after bouncing back and being the only person to beat Mohamed Light in an upper bracket reset, his confidence is contagious. It's Lucas!
these players opened up their day twos by losing. And they were still able to recover. It is very impressive from the both of them. And really, I loved Lucas's interview answer and the interviewer, although it was me, so easy to love myself, and that's good. Lucas was not, he wasn't really feeling all that good about his win. He knew there was more that he had to achieve.
Yeah, and going back to that interview, once again, I just have to point it out. I loved how he knows that everyone is a little bit nervous on stage, but he projects his own nervousness to his opponent. He says, I know they are the ones that are nervous, and I'm going to take advantage of that instead of succumbing to his own thoughts.
Yeah, and Sub, on the other hand, he went 1-2 against Ryley, but was able to recover with a 2-0 going against LCIOP. Against LCIOP, he ran Royal Hogs Bomber, was able to beat P.E.K.K.A Battle Ram, and no spell bait against MK Bomber Ram. Bait is becoming just the deck to use so far throughout this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these players are playing bait. I, once again, took a look at both players' decks before coming here on stage. And, you know, we have Sub with a lot of standard stuff. You have the bait, you have the Hogs, you have the P.E.K.K.A, you have the Lava. You know, kind of the standard decks for this meta. But Lucas' decks are really interesting. They've always fascinated me. It seems he really separates himself from the pack by playing stuff like Recruits Roll Giant Heal Spirit with P.E.K.K.A Ram Rider Freeze. And I think the Goblinstein in particular has really created this ecosystem and this meta that Lucas thrives in on another level.
It really does feel like he's excited, and I'm excited as well. Day 3 underway. Let's get game 1 started. %67% of the community votes went towards Lucas, 33% went towards Sub. And does that feel right? Kind of like a 2-to-1 situation between the two of those players?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense, but it's really just going to come down to this matchup. It looks like, as you mentioned, bait being super popular, Lucas deciding to do it right away. We talked to Lucas, Andrew and I, before the tournament, and he did say that he wants to play bait to try and force out mistakes from his opponent. And it makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of nerves on this stage. You have to defend each Goblin Barrel and each Dark Goblin, each Princess perfectly if you want to win. But look at Sub's deck, Josh.
Yeah, Sub gonna be running the Royal Hogs, Quick Cycle, and yeah, I mean, the delivery plus the log plus, I mean, it's probably gonna be Skellies and Ice Spirit. He's going to be able to stop these barrels very quickly. But I mean, bait, once you have that Goblinstein up on the board, the 3-card cycle, you can out-cycle the log plus the delivery. They have all these cheap cards, and you will still get barrels on the towers.
Yeah, that's a good point. If there is any deck that's going to be extremely successful, it's this Pig's deck right here with the log and the delivery. But you can see Sub shaking his head already. Maybe Lucas is right. Maybe this deck, the nerves, are going to make the big difference here. Already taking quite a few Goblin Barrel hits.
And right there, defending with the Goblin Gang as well. Earthquake on top of it, and the tower as well, getting it down to 27-74. Slight lead for Lucas so far. Skellies to help out and start to chain quickly. But Sub going to respond very well. But it does look like a little bit of trickle damage coming in from the Doctor.
Princess on the board. You can see Lucas down a little bit of Elixir, but it's not set in stone here because Sub has to respond to this Princess somehow. He goes for the delivery. Now everything's even up pretty similarly. I mean, I just don't know how Lucas wins this, though. I mean, I'm just trying to think of a way. Without that rocket, it seems very difficult.
It does seem difficult, but we always see with these cannons plus Ice Spirit or cannons plus Skellies, you can get those pro plays where they try and get the Royal Hogs plus the Earthquake on top of everything, but then you push it right there. Not going to push, but just going to defend with the Doctor plus Skellies, taking 500 damage, but overall, pretty clean defense, I would say.
Delivery dropping down, cleaning up the Goblin Barrel. Queen and Goblinstein still on the board, but the Goblinstein goes down. That means Sub has 3-card cycle. He goes to the log to try and cycle back the log quickly, but Evo Barrel coming in, getting solid damage, and the Queen gets taken out as well.
And right here, we finally see the Evo Skellies against Evo Skellies. Both of them just gonna kind of, I mean, really, it's a neutral situation right there. And Sub, I really like what he was trying to do, trying to go the delivery on top of the Princess. Lucas, too smart for that, knocking a Princess at the bridge once again. I mean, until now,
Yeah.
he knows Lucas loves these bridge princesses.
Log should be back in cycle for this barrel. And once again, the Queen is going to survive here. Sub is definitely going to go for some piggies soon to make use of that 3-card cycle. Maybe a pre-Earthquake on the cannon as well. There's the pre-Earthquake, but Lucas knows that the pre-Earthquake is coming. He predicts the prediction, if you will, and stop the pigs. But look at the Queen left side.
Archer Queen getting shot after shot, getting the tower down to 20-36. Both towers for Lucas taking a beating, but I mean, it's still a very close game. Dark Goblin outside of the range of the Crown Tower, so gonna be able to take out the cannon entirely. And Archer Queen at the bridge, I mean, this is gonna put in a ton of work right here.
Delivery on one side, Log on the other. Evo Skellies get taken out immediately, and the Goblin Sign ability is doing massive damage for Lucas.
Right there, completely flipping the energy of the arena, getting the tower down to 1502. Ice Spear plus Earthquake. And I mean, Sub is recognizing my opponent has no spell, has no big spell whatsoever. If I defend cleanly, I should be able to win. It's just going to be whether or not Lucas is going to force out errors from his opponent.
This is fascinating. Full defense, no pigs at all. Can he have the perfect defense? That is the question. Will he be able to stop the bait spam? Evo Goblin Barrel inbound. Skelly's one side, Log the other. Decent damage defense.
And right there, Princess plus Dark Goblin. Dark Goblin does stay alive, not hit by the Royal Delivery. Log on defense from Sub. Any of the Goblin gang picked up. 2 of the Spirit Goblins still alive. Princess at the bridge. 14 seconds left. Lucas needs to figure out something quickly.
Dark Goblin at the bridge. Goblin Barrel's here. Log
Look at this, look at the Dark Goblin.
The Dark Goblin versus Earthquake.
11-28, 12-12. The Dark Goblin did it. Earthquake coming in. Left in. Lucas gets it.
Earthquake down at the last second. And Lucas winning by 30 HP. Oh my gosh. He's done it.
It's always, Sub had it figured out. He wants the Log on defense against the barrels. Can he get the deliveries out? I mean, he was defending it perfectly, but Lucas set him up so that he only had 1 Log. He probably had no Evo, no Evo Ice Spirit, no Evo Skellies. How do you want to use your Log? If you use it on the Dark Goblin, then the Goblins are going to be able to take out the tower. I mean, it was right when the Earthquake was placed down. I don't know if that was on purpose. Lucas playing it perfectly.
If I can ask the replay team to redo that replay, except slow it down just a little bit, just the last replay, I want to get one more look at one of the closest games that we have seen. There's been a lot of close games in the Clash Royale League this year, but I think this is the 4th game under 100 HP difference.
I mean, just in the last 2 days. I didn't do the math. There could have been one on day 1 as well. It's just match, and it's always Lucas. I swear in my notes, it was Lucas for 2 of those 3 games. Lucas just, allowing the crowd to enjoy himself, and that's why he's such a fan favorite. And there we go. Let's take a look at this replay.
All right, so this is the last 15 seconds. Slow down. You can see the Dark Gob taking out the Ice Spear, locking directly on the tower. The Log comes through, but the Dark Gob damage is already there. Here's the first Earthquake from Sub. He's cycling his cheapest card to try and barely get back to another Earthquake. With 2 seconds left, like 1.5, he goes for the Earthquake. That's the first tick. If there was 1/2 more second, that Earthquake gets the second tick, and this game is completely different outcome.
Oh my goodness. Game 1 of day 3, and we're already getting this. Thank you. I just want to say how grateful I am to be here, because this has been wonderful. Deck 1 for both of these players. Lucas going the no spell bait, quick cycle. And I mean, really, it often feels like the bridge princesses are kind of the way to win this, and can you get a bunch of them on the board? I don't even know if that was the way he did it. I don't know right? How he won.
Yeah, on paper, this matchup is completely in Sub's favor because he has this Log, he has the Royal Delivery, he can keep up or even surpass 3-card cycle with that Archer Queen, and sometimes bait decks like this can win if you have rocket to rocket cycle. But Lucas somehow finding a way with the Dark Goblin.
This was fantastic, but let's see game number 2 right now.
And Sub in the third situation like this, I think this is the third time now that he has lost the first game of a best of 3. The question is, can he do it again? Can he reverse sweep and get a couple more wins to secure himself a continuation in this World Finals?
Lucas cycling the Zap, plus the Miner Sub going with the Skeleton Dragons so far throughout this tournament. As soon as you see the Skeleton Dragons, as soon as you see the cage, you figure it's probably going to be Lava. Lucas on the other side. I mean, is it Loon? We see a chuckle,
God.
we see a smile. Is this exactly what Lucas was hoping for?
I think it might be. It looks like he's playing...
Is he pumped?
I think he's playing Pompeo Balloon. I saw him on his Ryley PI. He likes to use it. And he has the Inferno Dragon for the Lava Hound. That's why Lucas is smiling here. This is a Pompeo Loon versus a Lava Balloon, I believe. This is a very fascinating matchup.
Pompeo in the crowd. Let's see if you can make him proud. Gob Cage on defense for Sub, going to be able to easily kite the balloon. But because of the left tower targeting that Inferno Dragon for even just a second, that's going to apply a bunch of pressure, and arrows forced out from Sub.
Ice Golem with the bridge in front of the Mega Minion just to tank a little bit, try and force out some sort of response. Miner's well to tank for the Mega Minion, just a little bit of a push, but it does require a hefty response. I like how Lucas just took advantage of this opportunity because he knows that Lava is not built for those cheap defenses, forcing out lots of elixir from Sub and getting good damage.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Golem basically becomes that kind of like third win condition because you're always forcing out either the bomber or the guards, otherwise it's gonna chip away at the tower, get 400 HP worth of damage, and Lucas's defenses are always gonna be relatively easy. The Inferno Dragon is gonna clean up the lavas. It's just whether or not he can defend before Sub gets those lightnings out. And no, it's gonna be Fireball. That's a value Fireball catching the Mega Minion.
A really good Fireball and not the best zap from Lucas there, dropping on almost nothing. I think he was trying to time it to zap all the Lava Pups, but he was not expecting that Fireball to reset his Inferno Dragon, and it just changed up everything.
And right there, Lucas probably going to set himself up with the Ice Golem in front. No Ice Golem Miner in the back. Hopefully, instead, just going in with the Fireball. Evo Zap going to come down, but didn't catch the Bomber on the first electrocution, so that Bomber stays alive.
This balloon, the balloon will not connect. Arrows do come down, but it does get death damage. And sometimes that's what Pompeo Balloon is all about. Sometimes you're just continually cycling those balloons, getting that death damage, and resetting for the defense.
Cycling the Inferno Dragon, you want them on the board. It's not always just Inferno Dragon on top of the lava. You're just trying to get as many of them up as you can. Sub responding with his own Inferno Dragon right there. Guards to protect it. And the Inferno Dragon for Sub locks onto the balloon. So far, it's a good defense, but he still needs more.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. Lava Hound is not built for these defenses. A lot of the time, you want to go for a dual lane or opposite lane pressure and tower trade, but that's not something that is an opportunity in overtime.
Yeah, and Sub making mistakes after mistakes. Lucas already clapping his hands. He thinks this game is over. The Miner takes out the Bomber entirely. Good game coming out from Sub. Lucas with the 2-0.
Oh my gosh. Lucas winning an impossible matchup. Game 1. His coach setting up extremely well for game number 2. A perfect matchup. The Inferno Dragon was just built different. The zap for the opposing Inferno Dragon and the constant pressure versus Lava Loon.
I know Lucas is proud of this one. Let's send it down to the floor with Rich to hear more.
All right, I'm here with Lucas. Lucas, let's first start with this. You are giving us nail biter after nail biter. Talk to me about the end of game number 1.
It was pretty close. It's such a difficult matchup. That was crazy. I was really anxious at the end.
Well, you were anxious in game number 1, but obviously game number 2, a little different story. Now we have the creator of that deck here in the crowd running the Pompeo deck in that game 2 matchup. Talk to me about that choice.
Yeah, we know after Psych was out, and if I won, I could take a risk. I love the deck. Alan, my coach, suggested it. He's usually like against it because it's really a deck that has to have a favorite meta to work. Of course, Pompeo always plays it no matter the meta. But yeah, like I'm always watching Pompeo's stream, so I just want to shout him out. It's such a nice deck. I love playing it, and I love the matchup even more.
All right, you are now top 3 at World Finals. It's been years to get to this kind of moment. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling nice. Like I feel like this is the first time I'm trying to enjoy myself a little more when I'm playing. The other times I was trying to like just mentalize because I always had very good regular seasons. I was trying to mentalize like, oh, I need to win, and this time I'm just trying to enjoy, just trying to have fun. And I'm really happy that I made it so far, and of course I want to win.
Well, you're giving us lots of fun as well. Everybody, one more time for Lucas!
Lucas. I just love saying his name. He has to feel so proud of himself. And the Pompeo deck with Pompeo in the crowd, I don't know who's more proud. Is he more proud of himself, or is Pompeo more proud of him? Lucas.
I don't know either way. I'm just so happy. You can just tell that Lucas, I mean, I feel like in the first couple matches in the first 2 days after Lucas won, he felt relieved. But today, you could tell he was just pumped up. He was excited. He was happy that he won. And not only is his confidence contagious, but his happiness is contagious as well. I mean, look at, I'm glowing right now. I love this.
How could you not? Let's take a look at the statistics from game number 2, the 4-card cycle, 10, 12, 2 sub. And really, you could tell that it was just a little too quick for sub. Sub did not have enough small troops to defend those ice golems. That ice golem really became that third win con.
Yeah, and it all comes down to Lucas setting the pace of the match. He was always applying pressure, and Lava is not built for that. And it seemed like Sub really went along with that motion. If you are going to win this from Sub's deck, from his perspective, you have to almost let one of your tower go at some point. You have to let it go. You have to make an obstinate Lava Hound push, and you need to get that tower trade. That's how Lava is played. But Lucas really just sucked him into his game style in that match.
Yeah, and let's take a look at our bracket so far. And right there, we just saw the match between Lucas and Sub. Lucas going 2-0. And up next, we got Mo and Ryley. Mo so far 2-1 against LCIOP, 2-0 against Lucas. And then Ryley on the other side, 2-0 against Ta, 2-1 against Sub. So both of these players 4-1 overall throughout this tournament. I mean, both of them have played phenomenally so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is the matchup between friends. I mean, I don't want to say too much, but I mean, you got Mohamed Light and Ryley. They practice together all the time. I don't know. The question is, can Ryley really perform at his best level going against one of his best friends? I've heard that a lot of the time in practice, Mo wins most of those matchups because Ryley isn't as locked in as he is compared to others. But I did talk to him beforehand, and he said he's ready to win this match.
Let's see if both or just one of them are ready with Rich introducing.
For years, the lower bracket has called his name, but it seems this year, the pull of the throne is even greater. The last few steps for a 2-time continue right now. It's the Pharaoh, Mohammed Light! Possibly the most anticipated player in World Finals history. But the questions have always been there. Does he have it at this level? So far, he's shown us he belongs. It's Ryley!
3, but this is one of the biggest matchups that we thought could be possible at World Finals. Ryley versus Mohamed Light. Friends, not becoming enemies, but just battling it out here on the podium. You know what this is like. You've been friends with many people you've competed with over the years, AC. What does it feel like when someone that is as close as maybe these two might be stands on the other side of that podium?
I mean, it's a mixture between just so much more fun than it usually is because you want to be able to talk that trash, but then there is just that nerves because you know the other guy is going to want to talk that trash.
Yeah, and it's so interesting to hear Juicy talk about, you know, being locked in practice versus being locked in on the stage. And if that's one thing that has kind of stunned all of us, I think, is Ryley's composure on the main stage, on the grand stage. Never been to World Finals before. He's had confidence in his post-match interviews, and he's had more than confidence in his gameplay, as you were mentioning. Both of them only dropping one game along their journey to our upper bracket semis.
Yeah, that's right. So many incredible plays, predictions after predictions from Ryley. So far, it feels like Mo, I mean, just this, we always talk about it with Mo. It doesn't even feel like it's predictions. He's just 85 steps ahead of you. The game's already won as soon as you go in.
And speaking of 85, 86% of you guys going to Mohamed Light, the other 14, it was on purpose, right? It was,
yes.
Yeah, the other 14 going to Ryley. And, you know, one thing that we talked about before this match started, AC, was yesterday, Sub raged the wrong tower in game 3 against Ryley. Had he got this rage on the left-hand tower with that second rage at the very end of the game, he actually would have won that set. But maybe that's what Lucas was looking at, seeing that Sub was making these very, very small mistakes when the pressure was up, as he did in that first game in match 1 today, and as he did in that last game yesterday. So Ryley here, as you need just a little bit of luck to become a champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just a little. You need a lot of luck. There always needs to be something going your way. And so far, that has been just his tournament in general. And really, with that game against Sub, it was all because he didn't place the P.E.K.K.A on the right tile. Had he gone one tile to the right, he would have defended it cleanly and he would have had an easy win.
Right.
He cannot make that mistake against his opponent right now.
No way. You really can't make many mistakes against Mohamed Light, as we've seen on his run over the last 3 years. It's almost shocking to think about him getting eliminated last year because it is such a rare thing to happen in any tournament to see him drop out before the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, he's a scary, scary guy, Mo Light. Always so impressive, 79% overall win rate. It's so funny looking at his games where he'll win a tournament entirely. He'll go 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-0. And then the talking point is, wow, his win rate actually went down after this. How did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, when you're as perfect as he is, or as close to perfect as he is, it's very tough to make that win rate go up. You can see they're still setting their decks. And speaking about what could come after this, very, very interesting, whether it's Ryley versus Lucas or a rematch of what we saw yesterday. We'll find out after this.
Right now, Ryley, Mo, game 1. Let's go.
And you can hear the crowd into it here. Just going into game 1, I imagine if we get into game 3, it will be silent in this room. Ice Spirit to start for Ryley, and Mo with the Princess at the bridge.
Princess stopping the Ice Spirit in its tracks, getting a little bit of chip damage on top of the tower, plus the log. And Ryley could be going back to the minor Marcher. Yeah, that deck is been really, really solid this weekend.
And looking like it, seeing the Evo Knight come out here. Evo Knight plus Evo Ice Spirit. Ice Spirit, one of the strongest defensive Evos in the game as that Magic Archer comes down in the back. And what's really fascinating about this matchup is there is no big spell for Mohamed Light. So how do you take care of the Magic Archers that Ryley's gonna place? And if a Magic Archer does ever get a connection at the bridge, how do you stop it?
And Mo Light, the way he just kind of carries himself, Ryley, we heard it in the interview where, oh, how'd you know you were going to win? Well, when he played the first Goblin Barrel. With Mo, he played the Goblin Barrel, no smile, no look up, no nothing. Ryley just locked in and focused.
And Ryley does have the Tesla. You can see there, Mo not happy about something. Not exactly sure if it was the placement or what, but doesn't get a lot out of it. Goblinstein does get on tower, not going to go for the ability. 21-62 to 2 very healthy towers for Mohamed Light.
Yeah, it really felt like Ryley got a value log, was able to get the Goblin Barrel plus a little bit of damage on top of the Doctor and the Dark Goblin, and still his tower just lost 850 HP. Everything that could go right went right, and he still got tons of damage.
Oh! And the NATO doesn't kill all the skellies. And both of them surprised by this interaction because it should have done it. Now Log has to be used on the right-hand side. Goblins to the real goblins to the left, and a great connection from Mohamed Light.
Dart Goblin getting chip damage on chip damage, getting the tower down to 2048, and that is a tough interaction to happen to you. You see it once a month, and people are complaining on Twitter. There's no time to complain. You just have to focus up and recenter yourself.
Exactly. You see Ryley kind of shaking his head there. He's played through adversity so far in this tournament. Again, I've said this on stage, off stage, probably too much. Memory of a goldfish, and Ryley needs to move on past this and just recognize a little mistake early on against bait doesn't mean the game's over.
And right there, defending cleanly with the Ice Spear, but Mohamed Light 2 steps ahead, getting the Princess chip damage, and Ryley going to respond with his Magic Archer of his own, finally getting just a little bit of damage on that left side.
Yeah, what a brilliant play by Mohamed Light. He goes barrel to the side knowing troops are going to come out, then goes Princess to the bridge knowing those troops are going to get on top, or going to get, the Princess is going to get on top of those troops for just a little bit more chip damage, and that's what we talk about him just thinking 85 steps in the future.
Yeah, and these Princesses are scary. Ice Spear able to make the full-on jump. NATO is going to stop him for a second, but still going to get 2 stabs on top of the tower.
1922, 1821. Mo's lowest tower is 2686. This game is about as clean as it can get for the Pharaoh.
And right there, Magic Archer not doing its job. Princess on the left, fully staying alive. Log should be able to stop nothing because the Princess stops walking.
Mo looking for something with that. Log doesn't hit it, but the tower, 1763. Another Princess comes down. Magic Archer to snipe. Nice placement there from Ryley.
And it's clear that Ryley has a lot of practice in this because bridge Teslas are exactly how you want to win this. And Mo, again, stopping. Every time Ryley thinks he's one step ahead, it's just not the case. Mo protecting everything beautifully.
I mean, this is the Mohamed Light effect in full force. Doctor getting more damage on that left-hand tower. Evo Skelly's popping off on the right. Magic Archer comes down. Wow.
Perfect defense right there. Log taking out fully the right side.
Wow.
And Princess, oh my goodness.
On the predict. Knowing spears are going to come out, he places the Princess a few tiles away from the bridge, and that is just next level, AC.
And right there, great timing from the Doctor with Mohamed Light. Ice Spirit not going to be enough to take out the Dark Goblin just yet. Getting a little bit of value on top of the Knight, and will that third take it out? And it does. But Mo Light, I know that next card that's coming down, it's going to be a Princess.
NATO in, Miner in, barrel to the right-hand side. Princess up high, nice catch. 1286, 1287 are Ryley's 2 towers.
Man, this is peak Clash Royale. 30 seconds left, Log coming down on the left, NATO on the right. 2 Princesses, Dark Goblin, 2 Dark Goblins, Doctor up. What is Ryley going to do?
Look at this map domination now. Barrel on the left-hand side. Ryley knows it's over. And Mo has won game number 1.
Growling at his opponent is Mo, and he deserves to do that. That was gorgeous. Bait against the greatest bait player of all time, and he showed up.
Now, I said it before, I did not like Tar running bait against Ryley. Why would you do that against the greatest bait player of all time? Well, there's a little bit of an asterisk there when you are the greatest of all time.
Oh my goodness, both players, it just felt like they were, I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, Ryley, even when he's making the right plays, it just doesn't work out, and it feels like maybe there's like 3 plays that weren't even wrong, but then that was the reason why he lost. We see him shake his head right there.
And you see Mo just like a shark smelling blood in the water. That small mistake, that small odd interaction, and that game was just cascading from there on out. Magic Archer, no big spell, no problem. Logs plus Princess will be enough. And the amount that Mo made Ryley play those desperation NATOs as opposed to offensive NATOs was absolutely stunning.
I mean, I kind of blacked out with that game, but I don't remember any offensive NATOs. It always felt like he was just on his heel, couldn't do anything. Let's take a look at the decks from both of the players, and yes, I mean, it's only the Log coming in for Mohamed Light, so he has to get that chip damage. On the other side, Log plus NATO, but it just felt like it was always defensive NATOs and never the offensive NATOs. And same with the Magic Archer. It's just, you're always placing it in the middle, and then Mo is cycling so well with the Ice Spirits and the Skellies in the middle that the opposing Dark Goblins are always sniping those Magic Archers.
The Princess 2 tiles deep to catch the spears
Yeah,
was
come
one
on.
of the greatest
That's
plays.
not a play.
That's not a play, bro. Nobody does that. Not on the World Finals stage, not on Classic Challenges. Nobody does that except for Mohamed Light. And you can see Mo, his family, his coaches, all elated right now. There he is, Julesy and Mama Mo, sitting there, sitting pretty, big smiles on their face, wondering why after game one, huh?
Man, that was such an incredible match so far today. Has just been such a joy.
I mean, just because I have nothing else to say at this moment, predictions lead to predictions, event.supercell.com/Clash Royale, because your casters need a moment to catch their breaths after the most amazing start to this set between good friends, good rivals, and here we go. AC, what do we got?
We got game number 2. Let's get into it.
Now you wonder about the nerves for Ryley. What's going through his head? Just lost to his deck.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just, I can't stress it enough. Ryley played such a good game.
Mo going mortar. Mo maybe going mortar, cannoneer. Everybody be quiet.
All right, I'll be taking over this game.
Evo bats plus miner plus cannoneer. Wow, and he's going back to before Gobstein. He might be going Cannon Cart plus Skeleton King. This was actually pretty popular for a minute, right after Gobstein got released.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. It feels like we're not really seeing Wizard all that often, and it's because of how strong the Goblinstein is. But Ryley kind of going away from everything and just putting the Goblinstein in the same deck as the Wizard.
And Zappy's there, and this is such a fascinating construction of this deck, AC. You can see Ryley going, what are those Zappies doing in this deck? Now you have the Mortar, you have the Cannoneer once the wheels fall off, you have the Zappies to stun and slow this Ram Rider, and this is a lot of trouble, an uphill battle, if you will, for Ryley.
Yeah, perfect timing right there. Ghost gets that one swing on top of the 0.5 HP cannon. Cart, there we go,
there
cannon cart, and right there, Ryley gonna set up with the P.E.K.K.A, and I think that's what you gotta do. You need to set up your P.E.K.K.As in order to have a shot.
And what's gonna be also very interesting about this matchup is if those Evo bats do pop off, that Rage will not be enough to take care of them. Obviously the Goblinstein ability will, and so will the Wizard, but the normal response to bats in the E-Spirit and that Rage will not be enough.
Ryley just kind of letting his P.E.K.K.A go to waste.
I think Mo was trying to go for the King Tower activation there. If the Mortar stayed alive and the E-Spirit jumped, just a little bit of flair, you know. He was like, did I not show you enough in game one?
Ah, you want more? Okay, I can deliver. And right there, a value arrows, and right there,
wow.
Any of the Zappies on top, they are, and they stop the Ram Rider dead in its tracks.
The density of the Skeleton King there, just completely blocking up the lane. I mean, it's something that we don't talk about a ton in Clash Royale, but the density of units, the thickness, if you will, that's the 2 C's thick, will stop them at the bridge or stop them as they're charging.
P.E.K.K.A trying to go to work, not going to be the case, and it's almost takes out the cannon cart. Instead, it gets just starts going for the skellies, and the P.E.K.K.A's still alive somehow, but so is the cannon cart. The cannon cart's still kind of healthy.
The Zappy's resetting it. Now he goes Skeleton King opposite lane. Gonna have a bunch of souls there. Mo sitting there pumping his fist. He knows this game is on the line right now. Ryley's low in elixir.
Yeah, he's going to probably activate the king.
What's he gonna do?
He has nothing.
That cannon cart is still alive opposite lane.
The bats are going to be able to come behind, and the arrows miss.
The cannon's on.
Game.
The cannon's on. Wow, Mortar's on. That is gonna do it. Ryley's still fighting. 813 HP remains.
Zappies are gonna stop the Doctor from resetting the Mortar. The Mortar getting a second shot. Doctor doing all it can do. Miner in the back gets caught by the Ram Rider, but that's really not gonna be enough. You need offense, and you just can't do that against Mohamed Light.
Mohamed Light pouring it on right now that Ryley is fighting for his lives. Not even making the right defensive play, he's making the only defensive play.
Cannon cart at the bridge, followed by the bats. E-Spirit going to be able to dash on top of everything. But I mean, Mohamed Light, he's known for his spectacular defense. How do you make how do you come back against him?
I don't think you can, AC. I mean, regardless of anything, he can defend his way out. Skeleton King's on top of that tower. He can still send miners in for the next 70-ish seconds. Bats are gonna get a ton of value here.
Oh.
And there you go. Rage in the corner. Ryley knows it's over. Mohamed Light, perfect in this upper finals.
Cannon Cart going to be able to take out the P.E.K.K.A. And again, these just are such incredibly strong pushes. Miner in front of Goblin Gang. That's not a push. He just finds the answers that nobody else finds.
Miner to the back. Evo P.E.K.K.A. to clean. Arrows to get the Gob Gang. Ryley's still alive. Evo Mortar opposite lane.
And that's going to be, that's going to be a strong defense right there. Okay,
yeah.
He's recovering.
He hasn't given up yet. You have to admire it as the miner goes in to pull the P.E.K.K.A. back, and that is just a beautiful play. Mo knows exactly what was going to come down that lane.
Getting a little bit of chip damage on top of the tower is the wizard for Ryley, and finally we see him start to build these big pushes. We see him jump for joy. Good game coming out from Mo. Mo takes it 2-0.
Mohamed Light will be back in our CRL 2024 Grand Finals.
This is what we want. Mo!
Look at him. Look at the celebration. Look at him go. The greatest in the world, showing everyone why he's got that title.
2-0 against Ryley. He only gets one game a day. Oh, we get to see 2 games.
Wow, how
this is
lucky
great.
for us. What an incredible match. Rich, my God, take it away.
At this point, we're all stunned. Let's talk game number 1, Mohamed. You pull bait out against arguably the #1 bait player on the planet, and you run into Marcher NATO. Talk to me about how you made that work.
Oh, actually, when I saw his Evo Ice Spirit first play, I was kind of worried because I knew it was either 3 decks, either RG Evo Ice Spirit Monk with Log, or Piggies, or that Remy deck, and they all do good against bait. But I was confident that I can win this matchup because I have Goblinstein with 3-card cycle and doesn't have a champion, so I was able to always outcycle him.
Outcycle you did. We all saw the princess. It was absolutely insane. We're seeing something different from you this time, right? You're already a world champion, already kind of unequivocally the best player on the planet, but now we're seeing a passion we've never seen before. Where's that coming from here in 2024?
I think it was due to my results last year at World Finals, so I'm very happy to be in the final again after the disappointment last year, so I'm glad. I think that's why I have a lot of passion now.
And you're in the final one more time, that's right. And this time, for the first time, you're in the final from the upper bracket. What does that do for you going into our championship matchup?
I'm a bit worried because when I won Worlds, I won it from the lower bracket, so let's see what happens.
All right, well, we'll be seeing that soon. In your grand final, it's Mohamed Light.
Yeah, well, you talk about that upper bracket reset. He's only been beaten in it one time, I think, in the history of his entire career, and that is by the Brazilian that is still hanging out in that lower bracket. Obviously, we're going to have a wonderful matchup between Ryley and Lucas. Again, these are 3 friends that have worked together for years. They're 3 of arguably the best players on the planet, and we've seen them together all week long, just competing, having fun with one another, and honestly building the confidence of each other.
I'm just hoping that they have one more spot in their crew. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's right. Oh, you.
Oh, yeah, me.
Okay, that does make a little bit more sense. So here we go. We see Mohamed Light starting to pour things on here. 25-13. Towers are pretty even. Obviously, if you know Cannoneer, lower HP tower. This cannon card on the left-hand side has been there for 11 minutes, I think, in this game of Clash Royale. And then you see here, cannon card again, doesn't matter. Arrows, not enough HP. Mo sees it. You can see the excitement there. And from this moment on, AC, he just poured it on.
Yeah, pedal to the metal. It has to be, Mo as a matchup is already scary enough. To see Mo jumping for joy and you're saying, hey, there's still a minute and a half. Why are you doing this?
Tower hasn't fallen yet, dude. But we all knew it. We were seeing Ryley catch miners with Ram Riders. Yep. And again, I tip my hat to Ryley. He did a great job not giving up, trying to find ways through. Got some good damage towards the end there. But Mo had such a big lead. And like you said, AC, he's one of the best in the world at defending.
Yeah, Ryley playing an absolutely phenomenal set just wasn't enough. Mo, on the other hand, I mean, this is what we've been waiting for, because even the year that he won it, it was still like, oh, lower bracket, there's still questions. This year, it's unequivocally him.
Well, and then you listen to him talk in that interview, and again, speaking with Lucas before that first match of the day, I'm going to take something that maybe I should lose with, and I'm going to run it in your face because I have the confidence and I think I can beat you with it. I think I can outcycle you. I think I can outplay you. And to see him do that with Bait in game one, absolutely fascinating. Then you looked at game two here. He did have the arrows. Evo bats weren't a huge part of the conversation, but that Skeleton King caused a lot of problems along with the cannon card.
Yeah, the Skeleton King, he was always able to get the right activation. And I say right activation because at the end of the game, there was an opportunity where he had the Skeleton King on top of the tower. It was filled with skellies, but he just waited. He didn't use it because he knew the wizard was going to be able to do a little something towards it, and oh, wait a second, where'd my advantage go? Instead, he just let it pass, and then he went with the aggression on the right.
Let's take a look at our bracket to see how we got here and what remains. The other thing we have to talk about are the MVP zappies. I mean, where did those come from? Why were they there? I'm so happy to see them. This is where we are at, ladies and gentlemen. There's a maximum of 3 more matches if we do have an upper bracket reset. Ryley and Lucas, whoever falls there will walk away with a big chunk of change in several tens of thousands of dollars, right? But that's not what you want. You want the 100, you want the 200. Winner of that match goes up to play Mohamed Light. But you gotta beat Momo twice in a best of 3. That is the last place you wanna be.
Yeah, but you also, it feels right. Like, it feels like he deserves to be in the upper bracket.
He does.
Let me try and get through on the lower bracket side, and then I want to beat him at his best. I want him to have multiple opportunities to win and still take it away from him.
Yeah, he's the best in the world, but I beat him in an upper bracket reset at Grand Finals at CRL 2024. I mean, hey, we can all dream. We can all dream as Mohamed Light gets to sit back and watch his 2 good friends and companions compete against one another, and he's gonna know. He's gonna know what to set up. I mean, Julesy is already ready with decks for both of them, but we have no idea who it's gonna be. Rich, couple more matches, buddy. What do we got?
These are the moments that test us, when our feet get held to the fire and the flames only get hotter and hotter. He started on his streams back in Canada, and now he's all the way here with his life on the line. Please welcome once again, Ryley. 2020, 2021, 2022. And now the question is, will the 4th time be the charm? He wants that matchup. It's Mo's rival, Lucas!
And the demeanor of these 2 players radically different. One coming off of a huge win, the other just losing moments ago. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Guy, joined by my good friend Jackson Juicy J. Wall, who I'm going to have a talk with our producers and directors after this. This is the first time we've been on the desk this whole World Finals. How you doing, brother?
I'm feeling good. I mean, these games are crazy. I love it so much. I'm like nerding out as I watch that last match. And wow, man, I'm very excited for this matchup. Both of these players have the same coach, Alan.
Yeah.
We've been able to speak with him a lot, and huge shout out to him, by the way.
Now, so Juice, when you have a guy coaching 2 players that are playing in basically the semifinals of a world championship, how do you do that? What do? Do you pick each other's decks? Do you let them pick their own decks? You know, what is the best way to go?
Yeah, I talked to Alan. He says that he's gonna let them pick their own decks. And it's really just going to be player versus player. I mean, they're on their own. They're rivals. It's going to be great.
Wow, picking their own decks in the biggest moment of their career. And while that might seem like something you'd want, for me personally, their coaches have been doing such a great job to get them to this point.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the part where player error steps into the equation, not on the battlefield.
Yeah, and with this meta as well, it's just so dynamic and so much fun. I mean, that last match, we saw Bait beating Minor Magic Archer, and we even saw Mo saying that he thinks that he can do well in that matchup because of the Goblin's time, because of the 3-card cycle. I mean, this is just crazy how fast and how quick these matches are going.
Now you see here 60% of you going for Lucas, 40% for Ryley, and I'm wondering how much of that has to do with maybe what just happened, right? Ryley just coming off a loss, we just said. Lucas obviously beaming with confidence at the moment. And you can see Ryley, look at him, he's locking in. He's going, look, I'm here for a reason. I've got this. What just happened is fine. And I mean, Juicy, when you looked at that last match, I know you were watching it, what did you see from Ryley? Were there mistakes or was he just outplayed? You know what? We'll talk about it in just a moment. What do we got?
Game number 1 between the rivals. Let's hop straight into it. Yeah, I mean, going back to your question once again, I think that Ryley, you know, he played okay, but just the skeletons getting onto the Evo Knight and just a couple unfortunate interactions at the beginning, it seemed like Ryley really got in a spot where he had no way to attack.
Now, was that Skeletons interaction because the NATO was too soon, too late, or just an odd interaction?
Me and Rich were actually talking about it. It happens when you're pulling Skeletons away from something, or it kind of happens when you're pulling Skeletons towards your unit, right? So he was turning those Skeletons towards his Knight rather than away, and it made it so that they were able to kind of survive.
Oh, it's almost like they pulled him to attack while they were spawning, while they were getting taken off the board. And here we go, Lucas going to bait against Ryley, who is running Lava Hound. So, you know, maybe he saw something that Mohamed Light did that he liked in terms of creating that deck or that matchup.
And I did also talk to Alan about what he thought both of his players might use in this moment. And Lucas does play bait, and Ryley might have predicted it with this Lava Hound Arrows matchup.
And that is a huge, huge connection there. You can see Lucas already a bit stunned from it. 22-12 to 12-03. Ryley drawing blood first.
Yeah, I mean, this is really interesting. I also talked a lot with Ryley and Mo about, you know, workshopping a lava deck that can counter bait because of how important it is in this World Finals. And maybe he's found it. He has the Evo Bomber as well as the arrows for solid defense, cheap defense, and offense at the same time.
Now, do you think the Lightning will be able to find its way into this equation more than what we just saw in the very beginning?
It's a good point. I don't know what Lucas' last card is. If it is Goblinstein, I think that Lightning will be imperative for breaking through. But I really don't know what this last card is.
Great damage there from the Goblin Barrel on that right-hand side, protecting this Dark Goblin to go down the left.
Okay, Dark Goblin getting taken out. Evo Cage does decent. Similar thing as we've seen with Lava before. He needs cheap defense or just no defense at all. He needs to get a Lava and needs to maybe even get a tower trade going here if Ryley's going to win this.
Yeah, really nice, I'd say cheap defense there, like you said, Juicy. Still getting some offense in on the other side, 1644. Now predicts the guards, but one guard still stays alive, takes the Princess off the board.
And look at that Evo Bomber.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Evo Bomber cleans up the barrel. Now it's cleaning up the Valkyrie. That's only 2 elixir. And now he can spend everything else on offense with the arrows for the Dark Goblin.
Val does get a shot on tower, but this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday. I think maybe it was LCIOP who was just not getting enough value out of his Evo Bomber in this matchup. You need that Evo Bomber to be able to clean up barrels. You can't only use your arrows and your guards.
And Ryley's just stacking on the pressure. Lava,
That's
Silly
it.
Dragons, Flying Machine, Lightning. This tower is down.
And now you talk about that reset of confidence. Ryley bouncing back, knowing he's still got it. Gotta feel good there. And then Lucas on the other side of it now, facing elimination once again.
Oh my gosh. How does he do it?
I don't know, man. That was incredible. And you know, Juicy, you've been in this stage before, and there's the coach you see torn. I mean, that's like watching your 2 children fight. Right. Who do you root for? You gotta be sitting there going, great job, Ryley. And then you gotta sit there going, oh man, Lucas, you know, it's so tough. And here we go, this is the very beginning, Juice. Talk to me about what happened here.
I mean, the arrows on offense is so good. Just taking out the Dark Ob, and at that point, all you have is Princess. Lightning drops onto that, and it comes down to this Fire Spirit as well. The Fire Spirit not hitting the Lava Pups. Lucas was trying to get the very minuscule, perfect timing to hit every single pup with that Fire Spirit, but it's high risk, high reward.
Yeah, and that is a very tough interaction, right? Because you need to get the Fire Spirit to land right as the Lava Hound dies to get the splash on all of them, and you can't go E-Spirit first in that sense, and then Fire Spirit later, because there's no way for this Fire Spirit to get on all the pups after the fact. So Lucas doing the correct thing, but as you said, high risk, high reward, doesn't pay off.
Yeah, and wow, game number 1 over already. I really liked Ryley's deck once again, and I like how he executed it. He defend cheap, he go on offense with everything. I think what Lucas needed to do is he needed to apply a little bit more pressure, because if you allow Ryley to have a lot of elixir with that lava push, it's really never gonna work out.
Yeah, and the pressure there was really, I mean, the Evo Bomber, we talked about it just a little bit ago, we talked about it yesterday. I mean, the value you can get from that Evo Bomber to help with those barrels just means that, you know what, I don't have to spend as much elixir as I normally would, and now I can focus just a hair more on offense.
Wow, and now the players are setting up for game number 2 here, trying to put together their decks on their own without a coach. You know, Lucas, I mean, he's been known to do that before.
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna find out what he's bringing out right now. Game 2, Lucas up against the wall. Ryley, Lucas, let's go. Now, Juicy, you've lived in the rarefied air of being someone competing on a stage for a massive amount of cash. What on earth would be going through your mind at this moment?
Hopefully, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna win.
That's what you like to hear. Yesterday, Lucas was telling me that his mantra to himself is, I'm not nervous, they're nervous. I'm not nervous, they're nervous. And right now, Lucas playing pretty well, but Ryley on top of it. And of course, now we see Ryley bringing out bait. I thought he might, and that's the scary thing, right? Is even if you know it's coming, he's not scared of running it.
Yeah, the question is, does Lucas have the facilities to deal with this super high pressure bait that we've seen succeed time and time again? I don't know. I don't know if he has the log or the Barbarian Barrel or maybe an extra spell to deal with this Dargob Princess combo. That's really what you're gonna need.
And a Prince in the back, Juicy.
Oh, and the Mega Knight. He did not defend the Goblin Barrel, and he's going all in with the push. I like this play. Will it pan out, or will Ryley be able to defend? He's very low in elixir.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Mega Knight on the tower. Knight there to take, Prince there to take care of the Valkyrie. Royal Ghost opposite lane. Damage in on the left, damage in on the right. Lucas taking control.
Game cleaning up. We have a curse
There's
plus
the
arrows.
First. And he goes, all right, well, one day this curse is gonna work out for somebody.
Wow. I mean, I love Lucas' deck, though. This is great. You have the arrows for the Princess, the Dark Ob. Very similar to last matchup, actually. And then, of course, the curse is going to be very good versus Gang as well. And that Mega Knight will apply so much pressure in front of the Prince.
So, Juicy, this is your stream. You're 20 seconds away from double time, or overtime, double elixir. Wow, I've done this for 7 years. What is your thought on this matchup?
Yeah, I got to give it to Lucas with the arrows, with the Mega Knight, with that curse. But we know Ryley is the best log bait player in the world. If there's anyone that can make it happen, it's him.
So Ryley going to have to do some innovation here as Lucas goes to take out that Princess. AQ on the opposite lane does still have her charge, takes out the Goblin Gang here, and sets up an Evo MK in the back as this Archer Queen should be completely defended.
Queen rolling through to try to set up some defense and have some DPS for this Evo Mega Knight. I think Ryley also has Evo Valkyrie in cycle, but this Evo Mega Knight is a force to be reckoned with either way.
And again, Lucas going with a very, very cheap, call it a defense if you want, takes a bunch of damage, 16, 12, 18, 88, as this push on Ryley's side of the board dies on the Vine. 979 though, Ryley's lowest tower.
The pre-curse, expecting a Gob Gang.
Wow.
He catches some goblins. I think that forces a response. E-Spirit does get it.
And AQ does get a shot in. Very nice predicted play there by Lucas as he goes Miner to the Princess once again.
Wait, he's shaking his head, the Miner!
Yep, I knew it. Guys, get the King Tower activation. And he needed to go one tile to the right there.
And there's the barrel yet again. Ryley down damage, but in a decent situation.
Yeah.
Can he bring it back without a big spell?
And that King Tower activation is going to be so helpful against the MK and the Prince as they come across the board. Oh! And you can see Ryley shocked by that interaction. Juicy's got his hands on his head.
Yeah, I mean, he just played the Archer Queen ability just slightly too early.
And that is going to change everything. Now Lucas immediately having the opportunity to attack.
And you can see Lucas has no fear in going miner on top of these princesses because he's ready for him to drop a gang on top of it and get more value out of it. So one of Ryley's best units has been completely handicapped by Lucas's Goblin Curse. And yes, you heard that right.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this when I play Mega Draft a lot. Sometimes a card doesn't need to be played to get value. Sometimes it only needs to prevent your opponent from playing the card they need to defend.
That's brilliant, the scare factor of the card being there, and that is why Lucas has been, you know, like I said, very, very willing to get on top of those princesses with the miner. Obviously wishes he didn't activate King Tower, but not the end of the world.
Icebeard dropping down defense versus the barrel. These barrels are consistent damage right now. It might be possible for the comeback as we head into triple time.
Royal Ghost on the right-hand tower. Miner on the left. Royal Ghost gets another shot in. Royal Ghost plus AQ to clean. 460 and 364.
The Prince!
The Prince!
Ooh! Gang coming down barely in time. We have 43 seconds left on the clock, and here's a huge push right side.
And it feels like we're going to game 3, Juice. I have no idea how Ryley's going to do this, but he could. There's the Miner in with the curse and the arrows.
Gang on defense. A curse on offense yet again with 3-card cycle. Miner, arrows, curse. He calls the game. Lucas taking game number 2.
We are going to game number 3. Lucas and Ryley.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love this. This is why I love this job, Andrew. This is crazy.
And the Goblin Curse finally pays off on the final day of what could be the final game for Lucas, and he stays alive.
Okay, so we're heading into game number 3. Before that, let's look at this wild replay. We saw the Mega Knight and Prince just constantly applying pressure throughout the match. This is where he really got that first early connection. I actually like how Ryley allowed the Mega Knight to connect to his tower.
Yeah.
If he tries to defend both,
then they're both alive.
And then the tower's gone.
Yeah, that's a great call there, Juice. And honestly, I got to imagine Ryley felt maybe a pit in his stomach the moment he saw the MK plus the Prince, because he's only got one ground tank in that Valkyrie, and that is not going to be enough throughout the game. And then he sees the curse, and now all of a sudden that Goblin gang can never stop the Miner, and it can never stop the Prince.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen bait really pop off, even versus the quote-unquote hard counters like Pigs or Minor Magic Archer. Maybe Lucas has cracked the code on how to counter this deck.
I mean, what an incredible game number 2 here from both of these guys. You see Lucas coming out with the Evo MK, Evo Ice Spirit, and right there at the bottom, that Goblin Curse paid dividends. Both of them going with Archer Queen. Ryley losing with Bait, which is not something that you say very, very often. That Evo Valkyrie, though, she just was not able to get much value.
Yeah, it seemed like the Mega Knight jumping on top, the Prince charging into her. And do you really want a gang to protect? Once again, the curse, just scare factor, making it so that Mega Knight is always breaking through.
Yeah, I love that call. I mean, you are the Mega Draft GOAT, if I may. And the idea that it doesn't matter about playing it, it's just them knowing you have it, and that will prevent you from doing so many things. And honestly, before I saw the curse come out, I was wondering why Lucas was so willing to get on top of the Princess, but also Ryley wasn't really protecting it, so maybe he was thinking about that, and probably was, because they have the same coach, who, again, must be quite torn right now.
Right. Okay, so I'm looking at the most recent decks here. We have game 1, Lucas played Bait, Ryley played Lava. Game 2, we have Lucas playing Mega Knight, and we have Ryley playing Bait. What is left? I think there's a lot of potential for a Pigs, Earthquake, or Hawk Earthquake kind of weird matchup here. And that would be fascinating to see between these two amazing players.
For sure, because, you know, Lucas known as one of the best hog players of all time, but I don't know about Piggies. I think you counter in that cycle, or you factor in that cycle, excuse me, both of them, 2 of the best cycle players in the world. And as you saw Ryley sitting there pumping himself up, that means it's time, Juice.
Game number 3 of this grudge match. Let's hop straight into it. Good luck from Lucas. Ryley's locked in. Ice Spirit at the bridge. Bats to defend. So Evo Ice Spirit and Evo Bats. I mean, seeing Bats from Lucas makes me think it's a mortar type of deck. And Ryley with Ice Spirit and Goblins. Oh, wait, no. Is Lucas playing Lumber Loot right now? That is truly wild.
Yeah, you see that Lumberjack come out with the Evo Bats. There's the Heal Spirit, and Juice, that is the second time we've seen Lucas rock the Heal Spirit, and the first time was with great success.
Yeah, we'll see if he can replicate that as we start to see a little bit more of his deck. Ryley with a little bit of a more standard deck. I still am guessing at what kind of win conditions we're going to see here.
I know. I mean, Ryley looking like he has pieces of what could be a Mortar deck, but obviously we're at World Finals. We've seen a lot of different things here throughout the weekend. And then, yeah, Lucas with the Lumberjack, and there's the Mortar from Ryley. And I mean, could it be Lumberjack with RG? I mean, you saw how well RG was, you know, yesterday, and there it is. RG comes down.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call. Great call. RG Lumberjack with Heal Spirit. This is an old school RG breakthrough type of deck. You got the Lumberjack tanking, dropping a Rage, speeding up the RG damage, and you have the Heal Spirit healing it up, and it's already working great for Lucas.
Yeah, great damage there for Lucas, 21-15, and maybe Ryley expecting the bats with the immediate drop of the Goblinstein up front. Goblinstein will get to tower, so you could see him wanting to use an ability. Bit of a flinch there from Ryley.
Yeah, I think Ryley was trying to predict that Lumberjack with the Miner and basically keep his cannon card alive to get a really good start already. If it worked out, it would have been great, but not going to work this time.
Yeah, Lucas trying really hard to get that King Tower activation. Doesn't get it either, though. Takes a good amount of damage. 21-53 for Lucas, 21-15 for Ryley as the second RG comes down. That's the evolved one. That's how it works.
Yeah, Ryley does have defense for the RG this time with the Mortar, with the cannon card. Fisherman distracted too, not able to pull the cannon card right away. What will Ryley do in this counter push? We do see the Goblinstein tanking. The Goblinstein ability will pop, clean up the Evo bats. Very successful. Can he get to the tower though?
And Lumberjack does just enough as a high fish boy comes out. There's the Doctor down low to stun that Miner. Bats in cycle once again.
And we see a defensive Mortar played one tile up, preventing any fireball value on weak side tower. This is a very slow match compared to what we've seen today, but I love it. It's very methodical. Never mind.
And there it is, Juicy. Thank you for saying that, because you know that Caster Curse is working in our favor right now. This Lumberjack's going to go down all the way back around to a Mortar, though, is Ryley. And that also means that Lucas is very close. Oh, a great predictive log on the Goblins. And I believe Lucas is just one card away from an Evo RG.
And you guys watching right now might think, oh, why pre-log on the strong side tower? But it's very important in this kind of matchup. Lucas needs multiple RGs. He needs that dueling pressure. So any damage on either side matters a lot.
The Evo Ice Spirit actually takes out the Lumberjack, so the Evo RG is able to get raged up. Cannon goes down, but it does bait out the Lumberjack just because Lucas wanted to be safe.
Roll Giant, one more shot left side. But we see Ryley in overall damage lead just by focusing on this right-hand side tower.
Only 90 seconds remain in one of their World Finals run here in 2024. One game in, one game up for both.
Oh my God!
Oh, the perfect timing there. Lucas by a hair.
I really thought that cannon card was locking on, but Lucas with the reaction time speed of a lion. Goblin's counter-pushing, he doesn't have to worry about it. King Tower's activated.
This damage from the one Goblin. No, excuse me, King Tower activated. I've played this game before. 2380, 1976. Lowest tower for Lucas, 1801. Lowest for Ryley, 1769. After the Fireball log comes in to 1711.
I don't know how I feel about these defensive Evo Mortar. Look, another Fireball dropping down and help clean up.
He's cycling like crazy.
Yeah.
50 seconds remaining. There has not been one offensive Evo Mortar that I can think of.
Yeah, and now we have a bridge battle. We have the Goblin monster, the Mortar, the cannon cards, the Goblinstein ability. It reaches tower. That's good damage. This game is so close.
1500, 1504. Lucas in the lead. Evo bats come down. That's good value there for Ryley. But one bat does stay alive. Ability comes in. Opposite lane pressure here from Lucas.
Miner on the right, Lumberjack, Evo Roll Giant with Goblinstein on left. Ice Spirit does connect. That will slow down the RG. Does he have a Mortar? He doesn't care to defend. He's worried about the right side.
Fireball log from both. 1195, 1239. I think Ryley's going to win the spell cycle race. We need one more Fireball. Ryley's got it. Ryley's got it. That's going to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ryley taking the most important best of three we've seen today.
102 HP, separating second and third place in a $60,000 or $55,000 matchup. That is a 55 or something like that $1,000 best of one. And Lucas falls just a hair short as Ryley recovers. My God, Juicy, what are we seeing?
I cannot believe that Ryley has the intuition or the bounce back ability to lose and then drop down and beat Lucas, and now he's right back up against Mo again.
I gotta know what's going through his mind. AC, talk to me, brother.
I mean, what a set we just saw right there. I mean, you didn't have your coach for that one. How did you think of the decks you were using?
Well, I had my friend at GameZ Saver help me out. He was my coach at the beginning of the year, and we parted ways, but he still helped me out here, so it was really nice of him.
That is very sweet of him. You have to feel so good about, just this tournament in general. You have $100,000 locked up already. What does that mean to you?
Well, I just want to win. I don't care about the money.
Doesn't care. Wow. You see the crowd go crazy because I think we would not feel that way. $100,000 doesn't mean anything. Wow. At all? Not whatsoever.
No.
Okay. You're not going to put it into your YouTube or anything like that. It's just going to go straight to the bank.
Maybe it could go into YouTube, but I don't really think so. If I wanted anything, I could have already got it, so it's fine.
He's a baller. This money means nothing to him. All that matters is winning it all. Let's send it back to the desk.
Man, if I had any of the financial intelligence that these guys had at their age, it's just, if I got $100,000 now, I would blow it. And I've got 20 years on him, so unbelievable stuff from Ryley. Juicy, that was such an incredible set.
It really was. The gameplay from both players, it was so close. This has got to be up there with the closest World Finals we've seen. I talked about in the intro today, there's not much nerves. The meta is great. Each game is coming down to the wire.
Yeah, and my heart goes out to Lucas, one of my favorite players in the entire world. Had an incredible run, and I'm sure that he is disappointed that he's not going to be in the grand finals. He's not going to be battling for the title of CRL World Champion, but ending in third place is not too shabby. What a game, Juice. Both of them kind of started to recognize spell cycle is probably how this is going to end.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw fireball logs come out from both players. I liked what Lucas was doing by applying pressure on the opposite lane.
Yeah.
But Ryley, he just knew that World Giant wasn't going to do enough damage in order to change the outcome. So he lets the RG get some damage. He starts his spell cycle earlier, but he also had that miner in the mix to get just a couple more hits.
Now, this is such a crazy thing to say if you're newer to Clash Royale, but it's harder to stop a miner than it is to stop a Royal Giant.
It's true.
Truly.
It's true.
How are you going to catch every one of those, especially when they're coming out wild like that throughout the game? You're trying to create pressure in the opposite lane. You're also trying to create a real push. That's the other thing is it's easy to feign a push, but you can't do it at this level, Juice.
Yeah, and it looked scary. Even for me, I was like, this Lumberjack, this Heal Spirit, the Royal Giant, but Ryley's like, no, all offense.
So let's take a look at the journey we've taken so far for these two individuals. Juicy, both of them started off very, very strong, going 2-1 over LCIOP was Mo. Ryley goes 2-0 over Ta. Then Ryley goes 2-1 over Sub. Mo goes 2-0 over Lucas, which was an absolutely incredible best of 3 yesterday. Both of those games, neck and neck. Almost every game we got from Lucas was. He goes down to that lower bracket, goes on a great run against Pedro and Sub, then runs into Ryley after Mo 2-0s Ryley in the upper bracket. And here we are.
Yeah.
You see it right there. Mo and Ryley in a best of 3 for $200,000, or Ryley extends it to match 15.
Yeah, and Ryley just losing to Mo. Usually I'd be like, wow, he must be kind of nervous. But after the last match, I think that he's locked in. I think he's going to try and get a better matchup and make something happen.
Yeah, that's such a great point you make, because had Ryley, let's say, gone down to the lower bracket and then just run into Mo in the grand finals and had to, and then maybe gets a reset, I don't know. I just feel like the confidence situation that he put himself in is great. It was good for him to get knocked down, play an incredible set against Lucas, and now it's almost like a reset. Yes, Mo still has a life to give. Let's not think about that till a little bit later.
Yeah, and then once again, it comes down a lot to the decks here. And the problem is, I've talked to Ryley's coach, Alan, again. I shouted again. I've been talking to him about him a lot. But he said that Mo, even when he has a terrible matchup, makes it feel like a 50-50. That's just how good he is.
Absolutely incredible. And another thing that's incredible here at SuperFest is we have tons of local language casters from all around the world. Friends of mine, friends of yours. Rich, why don't we say hi to our buddies?
Thanks, Andrew. I'm in the Supercell lounge. Behind me, just some of the languages Clash Royale is in around the world. Here in the building, We have French, Chinese, Japanese, Italian, German, Portuguese, Spanish, Korean. Did I forget anybody? I think I got them all. This is such a fun time here. Oh yes, Espanol there in the corner. Some of your favorite content creators, and of course, some former pros. Big shout out, big thanks to everyone here and throughout the world for helping every Clash Royale fan enjoy this World Finals.
And love to see all those guys, especially, you know, I have a really soft spot in my heart for Deco. We've been friends for years. I wish I would have been able to make it to his wedding, but I was in Thailand, so, you know, I was having a pretty good time anyway. And speaking of having a good time, Mohamed Light has to be feeling pretty dang good. I mean, it was either going up against his good friend or going up against his good friend.
Yeah.
But they did say they wanted to see each other in the grand finals earlier this week, many times.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't even think about it till now, but they got what they wished for. These two buddies, they're always practicing together. They said their plan is to meet in the finals, and that is what is happening. The question is can Ryley make something happen here? Or are we gonna see yet another 2-0 sweep for Mo? It's just crazy.
I mean, all week long they were talking about working together to get to where they are, and it's one of those things like you were mentioning before, you know, in those working together practices, Mo always was coming out on top. And then we saw here in this best of 3, Mo coming out on top. So what on earth could Ryley do to reset in that small amount of time? I mean, normally I'd ask you to tell me, but it's Mohamed Light, so what can you possibly learn in 15, 20 minutes that you didn't know before?
You know, I don't know what Ryley needs to do to win, but I do know what I want to see. I want to see a Mo versus Ryley bait mirror matchup. Give me let me see who truly is the best bait player.
So here we go, our final predictions here. I mean, mostly our final. We got our grand final reset, but we'll see if we flip-flop or change when we come to our predictions from us casters. I imagine we probably all went, and we did. We all go Mohamed Light. How can you really bet against him?
The funny thing here is that we all got Lucas wrong.
I know,
right?
I think it's because, you know, you think about Ryley, again, the confidence, you know, the momentum. It felt like Lucas was coming off a huge win to start the day. Felt like Ryley had barely any time to reset coming off of a loss, but that even makes Ryley scarier to me.
Yes.
You know, so still all of us going to Mohamed Light. I'll be curious if we do get a reset, if anyone changes their mind. I mean, that is really, really one of the exciting things about our bracket reset system here. And in case you guys aren't sure, this is a double elimination tournament. You might be wondering why this isn't the grand finals. Mohamed Light has not lost a set yet. He's only lost a handful of games, while Ryley has lost a set. So Mohamed Light, of course, has to lose 4 games, I guess, in this best of 6, if you will. And that's a tall task for Ryley.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the money, the prestige on the line, but we all know the real prize. Who is going to get that Clash Royale League World Winner badge in game? I mean,
oh my gosh. I mean, you talk about being intimidated before you hop into a game. You see finalists, you're probably like, oh man, that's crazy. You see world champion badge. I mean, that is the coolest thing ever in game.
Yeah, will Mo get it? Will Ryley get it? It's tough to say. I mean, not for me, but we all voted Mo. I just want to see a close game. I want to see a 2-1 here. I don't want to see a 2-0, no matter who wins.
And again, guys, event.supercell.com/Clash Royale for you to get in all of your predictions, to get all of your prizes. I mean, you're a little late to the party, but, you know, you can still go check it out, see what rewards you might be able to get. And I've been putting in my predictions here and there all week long. And you guys can do the exact same, as we were giving Ryley just a little bit of time to catch his breath and reset here. Now getting to get with his coach, obviously Mohamed Light with Julesy, Ryley with Alan, and man, Juicy, I just cannot imagine what we're about to see in this next set.
Yeah, I mean, talk about that rush, though. I mean, you just lose. You're putting them together decks with a different coach than your main coach.
Yeah.
The guy you just played against has the same coach. You win that, and now you immediately are going back with Alan, maybe with a Game Saver 2, to prepare for this massive $100,000+ match of Clash Royale.
Yeah, a best of 3 for 100K is absolutely crazy, and so is the fact that we have already come to our grand finals here at our 2024 CRL World Finals. AC, set it up, brother.
Unparalleled dominance for the past 5 years. The greatest to ever do it stays in the upper bracket. It's Mohamed Light. everybody thought he would be nervous. All these players are playing for money. He's playing for pride. He's playing to win it all. The Long Bay God, it's Ryley!
And here we are once again at our CRL Grand Finals of our CRL World Finals. And for the last 7 years, it's been me and my good friend Rich Slayton. I wouldn't want it any other way, brother.
It's great to be up here, but out in the crowd all day. The energy has been electric, but now it's time for the big moment, for the big show. Mohammed Light looking to become the second ever two-time world champion and maybe put the GOAT discussion finally to bed.
Absolutely.
On the other side, the guy he hangs out with so much, Ryley literally falls asleep regularly in their voice chat. That's how much time these two spend together, and this is a big mountain for him to climb.
And you've said it, iron sharpens iron, and you can see that has truly paid off for Ryley. I mean, a guy that at the beginning of the year, I'll be honest, I did not think he would make it to World Finals. I thought maybe he was a little overhyped. I thought maybe he was a bit of a one-trick, and I've said this before, and I'm happy to say it again. I was so wrong, and I am so happy to be so wrong. This young man has been nothing short of exceptional. He has had great stage presence, great confidence, and honestly, a joy to talk to.
Yeah, he has been really, we've seen a lot of growth. We met him here last year as he visited, and it's a very different Ryley than we met shuffling around in pajama pants and slides in the snow.
Wait, are you talking about Josh or Ryley?
Josh, I mean, like, seriously, it's both you guys. Good growing up, fellas. I like the glow up. But here for Ryley, he has been a totally different person.
Yeah.
Now, here's the real question. We didn't see Ryley in that last game against Mohammed Light. We did not see him show up. Does he show up here with his second time out?
I mean, the Mohammed Light effect is real no matter where you go, whether it's on the stage or at home making your predictions. 13% now going towards Ryley, which I believe is just 1% lower than what it was before. I think it was 86-14, now it's 87-13. So we lost one of you out there.
Well,
wherever you went.
Look, if you hit double digits in the voting for playing against Mohammed Light, you got to feel that's almost an achievement in its own to get that much confidence. And this is, of course, folks, what they're playing for. Few have hoisted it, but only one will do it today. The trophy, the championship for Clash Royale League 2024.
I mean, you got to imagine all the naysayers and the doubters over the year, whether it's your friends, your family, and it's nothing against them, or whether it's just people out there hating on the internet. But once you get that trophy, once you get that title, once you get that badge, that is something that can never be taken away from you. And that is something that you will remember for the rest of your entire life. I can tell you that, and we're about to get into it.
Yeah, it all starts right now. Game 1 of your grand final. Let's go! And keep in mind, folks, that Mohammed Light is for the first time playing a grand final at Worlds from the upper bracket, which means Ryley has to beat him twice. That is, beating him once is hard enough.
I mean, no one's been able to do it. It's only happened once this whole year where someone was able to beat Mohammed Light in an upper bracket reset, and that was the man that was just eliminated in Lucas. So, and I'm sure there's a statistician or an analyst out there, has it ever happened other than that, period? Has anyone ever done it other than that one time in our 4th monthly final this year? Well, Ryley might be the second man ever.
And I'm wondering if nerves are a factor here, because clearly Alan giving Ryley comfort in this moment, running this pig cycle deck, very control heavy, and this is one of those ones that a lot of coaches have talked about being a great pick when you're feeling nerves.
I mean, it's a great deck. It's so strong in the meta right now. It's been around for so long. I love this. It's just very versatile. You have other ways to win other than just your win con, right? You can spell cycle out. AQ is going to get a lot of value if your opponent doesn't have lightning. And as you said, Rich, calm those nerves back to basics.
You do have to wonder, though. We're talking about these two top-tier coaches in Alan on Ryley's side and Mohammed Light back with Jebba's here, back with Julesy here in 2024.
Yeah.
And yeah, look at that contact on the right-hand side. And you have to wonder about those mind games, right? Is Mo and Julesy cooking up a prediction on their opponent, knowing, hey, you're going to be nervous here in game number 1?
Now we've seen this Monk AQ situation before going up against Mohamed Light. Did not work out for his opponent in LCIOP, but we'll see if Mo or Ryley have if Mo can get a little bit more out of his Monk on Ryley's AQ.
And look at the way the Monk ability shut down the Evo Skellies there, right? Gave plenty of time for the clear, didn't result in the damage maybe that Mo wanted, but now he's in a great spot to shut down this next Pix push.
I mean, I don't have, you probably have it. Is this the exact matchup that we saw between LCIOP and Mohamed Light? Just switched?
Yeah, it does seem familiar. I can go ahead and look through my notes.
And as two of them set up in the back, Ice was in the back. And it is the deck, Rich.
Wow.
It's the exact same thing. So they both call each other's number and flip-flop.
The spell cycle plus the pigs have been working so far on the right-hand side. Clearing off the AQ with the reflection, and now a pretty big downhill push coming into the left-hand lane with that cannon low. Of course, the cycle is so fast, but now the dual lane pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Ryley's ready to get another cannon out, but, you know, Mo's already got that second RG down. Evo RG plus that jump there from the Evo Ice Spirit just a second late, so Skelly's not able to take it out.
And that's a bit of a spend there for Ryley. Now dual lane pressure and the lead for Mohamed Light in that left-hand lane.
Fireball plus guards here, gonna be a nice cleanup, just a little tickle on the tower within this EQ.
Heading into sudden death overtime, this just under 200 HP lead crosswise from the top right of your screen to the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And that Ice Whiz gave just that little extra edge here.
And a little bit of a slow pause here as both these guys trying to create a little bit of offense, but still trying to feel each other out with 90 seconds remaining here in our first game of our grand finals.
And are we going left to right? Here we go.
We are. Piggy's right into an Evo RG. Evo Ice Spirit in to stop.
Fireball admittedly late just because of the situation, but look at this Evo RG on the right-hand side. Log trying to push back, not going to be enough. Gets one, will it get a second one? And this damage in both lanes is dramatic.
That is huge, the cannon, just a second late, and now nothing on top of the Ice Wizard. Ice Wizard putting in some DPS, and Mo goes, wow, that is the last thing I ever expected you to do.
Yeah, you see the look on his face, that Ice Wiz just pushing to the outside, getting around the Royal Giant with nothing else to target. Here we go. Big push on the left-hand side, man, that's it, GG, well played. Mohamed Light is one win away from immortality.
And that was so clean, so dominant, red from top to bottom. Every single time Ryley was setting up a defense, Mo was already ready for a second RG. Those fireballs were used on the cannons. Didn't have to use it on the Archer Queens because the Monk was there. And he got so much out of that Monk ability throughout.
That was tremendous, and I think the thing that we've seen from Mohamed Light throughout this entire competition is calm. Every single moment, we just see him so locked in, so dialed, and so in control of everything he's doing on the board.
I'm gonna one-up you and just say, and confident.
And
right?
confident,
the confidence we are seeing from him this year is different. He's always a confident player, and don't confuse confidence with being cocky. He's also incredibly humble. And you see right here, Ice Spirit comes in. Cannon just a second late. RG gets another couple shots. That's the Evo RG, by the way. And there's the Ice Wizard getting in 4 more shots. Now Mo knows he's in spell cycle range, so he gets out the Monk, gets the ability in, 2 fireballs in less than 20 seconds, and he is 1 game away from being officially, unanimously, consensus the greatest of all time.
I mean, this is rarefied air, of course, something we've said a lot throughout this weekend, but you know, you look at those moments, you look at moments like that one, and you saw the Ice Wiz coming down that left-hand side, and normally you would have something to target, but the Skellies were gone, the Ice Wiz was gone, and it just pushed around the outside and got stone cold for Mohamed Light.
And the crazy thing is you look at this cycle here, it's a half an elixir slower, but it felt like Mo was always ready to go with a second RG, and it's because he was utilizing that Monk so well.
How do you, if you're Ryley, find what's inside you at this moment? You're facing now back against the wall. You have to beat Mo 2 times just to get to a chance to beat Mo 2 times again.
I mean, I don't say that sentence. This is the first thing I do if I'm his coach. And I'll be honest, Rich, I don't know. I do not envy Allen at this moment. It is a very, very tall task to figure things out. And you can see Ryley, you can see it on his face. He knows he needed that game one because now he's going to have his back up against the wall for the entirety of these 2 sets, if that's even possible to get to the second one.
And I think you can't run bait if you're Ryley.
No,
you cannot do it.
But you cannot let Mo beat you with bait. And I know that that's a crazy thing to say, but he's done it before. He did it emphatically before. And I honestly think if he busts out bait, it would be such a mind game to Ryley that it would already throw him off kilter. So if I'm Ryley, I gotta cover bait first and foremost.
My guess here is that Ryley goes Goblinstein. It's so popular, but then Mo is gonna bring out a Light.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by it, right? AQ's already out. Goblinstein's got to be played in game 2. You're fighting for your life. So how do you get the most value you can? I don't know. Maybe you go Lightning. Maybe you just bust out Evo Bomber. Evo Bomber's been getting so much value against Goblinstein, against things like that. I imagine that Mo and Julesy are thinking Goblinstein, and there's only one way to find out, brother.
Let's go ahead, jump into game number 2. Championship point for Mohamed Light. And maybe one of the biggest differences in a moment like this from the rest of the year as we play remotely throughout the regular season is usually in this big moment, you have your friends, your coaches on chat with you, cracking jokes, keeping you calm, and that's been a big part of helping Mohamed Light overcome his nerves in the past, but now he seems totally past that. The question is, how does Ryley self-soothe in this situation?
Look, I know that those are very nice, and there's the Evo Bomber, and I know that there's noise-canceling headphones there on both of our players, but you can feel the electricity in the room, and you can still hear those very loud cheers, and you know Ryley's thinking about it as Momo goes Gobstein left-hand side. Ryley looking like he's doing a throwback to 2021.
Wow.
And it is. It's Loon Freeze. That is what Mugi beat Mohamed Light with back in the day.
You know what? If you got to take a swing, swing hard.
That's right.
First minute passing away, and with that little shock, Ryley will pull back within about 450 HP as Mohamed Light lavas up.
Balloon immediately opposite lane, Lumberjack in tow. Mohamed Light has that Evo Gob Cage up high. Gonna make short work of the Lumberjack, but it will still rage up this Balloon once it goes down. No!
No! Oh boy. And Mo's gonna get a little bit on it with that flying machine and now create a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he's got a great counter push here. Brawler goes hard on that right-hand side, flying machine on the left.
And the Evo Electro Dragon just going for the one snowball plus the arrows to clear. Oh my word.
And Mo knows! That's it! That's it!
Oh my!
Mohamed Light is gonna be our 2-time world champion and consensus greatest of all time!
I mean, there's still play to go. Camera, don't. Why are we pulling away? They're running the goal. There's still gameplay. Folks, what are you doing? We're still going. Mo's like, dude, I didn't win yet. And Ryley can do nothing but laugh right now. 1 minute left. The room here is in shambles.
I mean, it's already said and done, but that's not the way you want it to go. But it's already said and done, Rich.
A little distraction here. Now look, if Ryley can pull off this right now, it would be tremendous. But you can hear the murmurs and the laughs in the room. And can Ryley refocus? Can Mo hold on to it?
And the freeze is in. Balloon is coming down the lane. Mohamed Light's gonna take this balloon drop. 2 balloon drops in. 2 balloon drops and death damage, Rich. Evo Bomber on the tower in the pocket, though.
This is nothing short of being potentially the wildest ending in CRL World Finals history. Tries to go for the Electro, cannot get it done. And now we can make it official. Throw up the lights, hit the sparks. Mohamed Light is now your 2-time world champion. The first ever to reach $1 million in career prize pool. And finally the questions are answered. Was he washed, they asked, in 2023? Is he not the guy, they asked, late this season? You see his coach, his mother, already let's go down to the floor with our champion.
Mohamed Light, second world championship under your belt. You are unequivocally the greatest player in the world. How does it feel to put that argument, that conversation to bed?
I'm happy to win.
You are happy to win. I would be happy to win too. You heard Rich say it. You're the first mobile esports person, I think, in history, esports competitor, to ever cross the threshold of $1 million in prize money. Yeah, I know. He doesn't even know. How does that feel, man? For you, your family, for your country, how does that feel?
Doesn't Faker has more? I swear he has like 5 world champions.
Well, Faker's a League of Legends player. We're talking about on the phone, buddy.
Oh, then I guess, I don't know.
I love that you're trying to give the love to someone else as you've just won $1 million across your entire career. Mo, I mean, where to go to next? Are you going for the three-peat? Are you going for the 3-time champion?
Oh, of course, I heard the news that the esports will be better for next year, so I'm going to be sticking around. Hopefully I can win again.
Now, at the very beginning of this year, you had a change in coaching. Was that a huge part of your success here on the World Finals stage? Obviously, you had a great run in the past, but now working with Julesy, how has it been?
I think the change of coach personnel was very important because my previous coach was helping 3 players, which I didn't like because he wasn't very focused with me. But now Julesy only helps me, so I think that was very important to my success throughout the whole year.
Well, and a lot of success you had, Mohamed Light. You didn't just win the trophy. You didn't just become the greatest in the world. We got something else for you too, brother. One more time, come on, let's hear it, let's go.
Congratulations.
Your 2024 CRL World Champion in Mohamed Light, $200,000 more in the bank. And of course, where are you gonna make some room for this second guy here? No, you don't have to hold that.
Yeah, let's trade. Let's trade. Get the real one there. Mohamed Light, everybody!
Yeah, give that trophy some love.
This has been an amazing year in Clash Royale League 2024 and a really fun World Finals. First of all, thanks to each and every one of you for making this the most hype we've ever had on a final day. You make this thing so much fun. Juicy, it's been a blast. Final thoughts here.
I mean, all of the matches so close. This is the most fun I've ever had participating in a World Finals.
Joshua.
I mean, no fear in any of these players. They were going all out. Let's just see mano-a-mano who can win it.
Brother.
I love being here with all you guys. I love all of you people in this room for being here to support. And I gotta say, there's nothing better than watching the greatest in the world do exactly what they were born to do.
We've had a busy week here. You see a lot of people in black shirts around the room. We have a crew working for not 1, not 2, but 3 World Finals. Please, let's get a round of applause for this production team working tirelessly to give you the show you deserve. Thank you so much for being here. On behalf of everybody, Jackson 2CJ Wall, Joshua AC Sharon, Andrew Guy, your champion, Mohamed Light, I'm Rich Slayton. We'll see you next year.